Poland says it won't give Ukraine any more weapons. They've been allies for a long time, but they're now locked in a diplomatic dispute over grain. Poland says it's banned Ukrainian grain imports to protect the interests of its own farmers. Ukraine says it'll lodge a complaint with the World Trade Organization. We're going to cross to Zein Basravi. He's in Sumy in northeastern Ukraine. This is all happening really pretty fast. What's behind it, Zein?
Well, this is something that has definitely been building for some time, but this fracture between these two very close allies, easily Ukraine's closest partner in the war against Russia, if not broadly, definitely on continental Europe, Poland has been Ukraine's closest partner. This fracture will be something that will be of serious concern to all of the countries supporting Ukraine in this conflict with Russia. It has been building for some time, and it is around this grain deal. Now, what we're looking at is grain that was meant to be going out through the Black Sea. Because those ports are closed because of the Russian invasion and because of Russian controls over the Black Sea, that has now been crossing over land, and much of that, not meant to be stopping in Europe, has been finding its way to European markets, something that those countries, Poland now being the prime one, have tried to push back against. Now, from the Polish point of view, we are seeing this disagreement coming up just ahead of national elections next month. The Prime Minister, no doubt, trying to shore up support among ruler conservative voters. But what the Ukrainians will be saying is that this dismisses the fact that Ukraine is a country at war. Its ports are unable to function normally, and not making allowances for that goes against the spirit of being an ally in this conflict. Now, it certainly is something that comes as a surprise. Poland took in millions of refugees, millions of displaced Ukrainians at the height of the war, at the beginning of the war. It has been providing weapons and support, tactical support as well. Some of the most high numbers of volunteers, foreign volunteers that have come to Ukraine as part of the war effort have come from Poland. So this fracture is certainly something that will have broad ramifications and no doubt will put pressure on Ukraine's other allies to step up in terms of their weapons supplies, especially the United States. President Biden is expected to make a decision on a long-range ballistic missile systems called ATACMS that would help Ukraine target deep inside Russia. That will certainly be something that Ukraine's president in the United States now will be bringing to the forefront of his conversations.
Zein, I mentioned that you're in Sumy in northeastern Ukraine, and that's a region that's playing quite a unique role as the war is going on between Russia and Ukraine. Tell us a little bit more about where you are.
That's exactly right. Just in the last few days since we've been here this week, we've noticed an uptick in the number of air raid sirens and the number of attacks, not just in the region, but broadly across the country. As if to punctuate Poland's decision, this morning we woke up to reports of dozens of missiles fired across the country, east to west. And much of the border is very tightly controlled. But here in the Sumy region, right at the border with Russia, there is an example of Ukraine and Russia in a kind of quiet cooperation, and an example of what it means for civilians caught up in the fighting when the two sides are able to put aside differences and prioritize humanitarian needs.